do the same. Once we receive public testimony and discussion, and that has concluded, we will render our decision on that particular item. I'll remind members on the board, if you have a personal or a financial interest in any particular item, you're required to recuse yourself from voting. Any testimony that is submitted by the petitioner or on behalf of the petitioner during the presentation of the agenda item will be binding as to any decision the board makes relative to the motion. I'll remind the members of the board, if a motion to deny a particular item is made, you must provide a reason. At this time, I'll introduce the members of the board that are here tonight. Mr. Blake Markham, Mr. Nathan Williams, Mr. Corey Johnson, Mr. Pickett Reese, Mr. George Howell Jr., and I'm John Stanley, your chairman. We have 6 members here tonight. It requires 5 votes to pass a motion. So if you feel as though that might adversely affect an approval of your presentation, you can delay until next meeting. Otherwise, we'll hear it and vote on it. Any questions? Excuse me, our land use staff that's here tonight is Mr. Tommy Tyson, Mr. James Center, and Ms. Tanya Ingram and Jovan Hines are our recording secretaries. If no questions, we'll get started. We have 9 items on the, we have 10 items on the agenda. Item number 2 has been delayed.
Mr. Stanley, I just got an email that the brother of the petitioner is on his way for that.
Number 2? Mm-hmm. He's on his way here? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so it's not delayed. Okay. There's a probable no-show on item number number 9. We'll see if they show up. So we'll start and take them in order as on our agenda. Item number 1 is presented by Kagan Kangurley, is that correct? Requesting an exception to smart code. You can come forward, sir. To allow a paint booth at 837 Madison Avenue in a T4 smart code zoning district. Okay, sir. You'll need to state your name and your address for the record.
My name is Kagan Kangurley.
You're going to have to speak. I can tell y'all you're going to have to speak loudly because acoustics in here aren't great.
My name is Kagan Kangurley.
Perfect.
And as you see in the paperwork, I have a auto mechanic and auto sales business on 837 Madison Avenue. I'm over that location almost 6.5, 7 years. This pandemic, business was a little bit slow, getting slower, and we're buying cars from auctions. Sometimes they needed the paint, and some of my customers, asking me to paint the cars. So I was gonna trying to put a paintball on my business, additional, for my mechanic business, So that's what I start the paperwork, and they said I have to come to Board of Adjustment to see is gonna be approved or not. That's why I'm here today.
Is the paint booth installed yet?
No, we didn't do nothing. We just start the paperwork process, and that's why it take me here, lead me to here. And I want to make sure everything, if it's...
Well, good, because I asked that question because oftentimes petitioners will come and it might already be installed.
No,
so
we didn't touch anything before
right.
we get everything right, or if, get that.
Well, the reason you're here, and that's because Smart Code doesn't allow a paint booth without an approval from the board.
Okay.
Okay? Tell us about how are you containing your painting and any odors so that it's not environmentally a problem?
Well, we're gonna comply all the regulations and the rules. I think we have a back room in the back, so we're gonna make a paint room, and also we're gonna make whatever the requirements fire department asks me to do that, we will do it. So, as I said, we didn't do anything yet before we get approval, you know, we didn't start anything yet. But whatever the compliance are, whatever the legal requirements, we're gonna put it on there, you know.
Who has jurisdiction over your paint booth? Is there a state agency that tells you how it has to be designed and environmentally friendly?
If I'm not mistaken, after this process, if it's approval, I have to go to fire department, and they will check everything and make sure that if they approve it, that's supposed to be it. That's what I know, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you submitted any kind of a site plan to the Planning Commission, or is that necessary, Tanya?
No, sir.
Not necessary. Okay. Sir, are you familiar with a letter the board has received this afternoon expressing opposition to what you want to do from the adjacent church? I guess they're adjacent to you. Is that St. John's AME Church? Aren't they adjacent to you? Is that correct, Tanya? Or are they across the street from the opposite corner? Opposite corner. So they're not adjacent. They're.
Okay, I could be wrong.
Show it. Pull it. Let's see where the church is. Have you got an overhead on that? I believe they're on this Okay, go back. Okay, there's the paint booth. All right, go north.
No, go back to the area.
Let's identify where the church is, because there's some opposition.
Mr. Chairman, it's to the left. It's a little sliver of it is to the left of the paint booth.
So it is next to it. It is adjacent to it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. That's what I thought. Any questions of the petitioner? There may be some. Is there any opposition here? I'll get to you. I just want to see a show of hands. Okay. Any questions of the petitioner? Okay, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Mr. Howell?
Mr. Kangarilli, is that where you want to put your paint booth is an addition to the original building there, is that right?
Personally, I purchased this building 6 months ago, but I'm thinking they built as an adjustment. Yes, looks like it, you know. It's not a brick on something like that, but they just cover on it.
Okay. I remember that building having 3 bays, and that's a 4th one. That's why I'm asking. Okay. Does that addition right now have walls in it?
That side have no wall, no.
Okay.
It don't have a wall.
So between you and the church, it's just open air?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yes, sir.
So is there no setback requirement on that, Tanya? Can he build up to the property line?
It's already there. Yeah. It exists. It's just not walled in, from what he's saying.
Oh, excuse me.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, so where he wants to put it is already constructed. He just wants
It
to
has a roof.
separate it as a paint booth.
Yes.
Yeah.
His
it has a roof.
application says he wants to convert an
Excuse
existing
me.
work
Okay.
bay. But is it walled and roofed?
It doesn't have
It's got a roof, and it's got a rolling door, but on the side, they didn't put a wall on it, you know.
Okay. So it's not a new building.
No.
No, it's not new, no. I'm over there 6.5 years, it's been there.
Got it. Okay, any other questions of the petitioner? Okay, anyone in the audience that would care to address this item, please come forward. Sir, you'll be given an opportunity to come back after they...
Okay, so you want me to take it?
Yes, you can just sit and wait, and you'll be given an opportunity to come back and address their concerns, okay? Yes, sir.
Mr. Stanley and board members, I have with me Mr. E.J. Knight, Mr. Charlie Lassiter, Mr. John Knight. We are members of St. John's AME Church.
Yes, sir, you go ahead. There you go. Thank you.
Let me apologize. I may have addressed my letter to the wrong body instead of the Board of Adjustment. I think I said the City Planning Commission.
You did, but we'll forgive you.
And I ask for your forgiveness, but our objection is spot on. The first thing that we would say to you is that with regard to the last question that was asked, whether or not I think if I heard it correctly, whether or not the proposed structure is enclosed. We have a picture of it, and I would represent to you that it is not enclosed. There is a top over it, and there are some poles on the corners of it, and I'll be happy to pass this picture up, but everything else is open so that any paint, fumes, spray, etc. would escape and not be contained in any manner. But beyond that objection, I represent to you that for the little research that I did today, the OSHA regulations would control the installation of any paint booth, and it's based on the discussions that I had with the young lady today at the Land Use Division. Nothing was submitted with the application beyond identifying information and then the information spelling out what he intended to do as a part of this proposed variance. There was no kind of plan, OSHA approved or ADM approved, with regard to this particular project. In addition to not having submitted any proposals that were approved by these regulatory agencies, it's going to be, we would say, an eyesore to the historic district that our church is located in, and I would submit that an effort to gain compliance with the historical commission has not been made, and I would again submit to this body that before any changes in that area can be made, as we have learned as members of the church, there has to be some prior approval from the historical commission. And on information and belief and based on the discussions that I had in terms of what was in the file, I would submit that no such approval has been acquired or even sought, just as no approval has been acquired or sought from OSHA or ADM. Then in addition to what we call an eyesore, if he were to put vehicles up there for repair, and that's different from, say, vehicles up there where the problem is under the hood, it's just going to become an eyesore, and he doesn't have enough property of his own to park any vehicles in any kind of orderly fashion, and it's just going to be a hazard to our church members coming and traversing the sidewalk in front of the property. We try to lay out the various objections that we have in the letter that we sent to you. I indicated that there were a number or numerous objections. I've highlighted some of the more prominent ones, but particularly it's going to be, we would submit a health hazard not only to our membership, but to anyone who is visiting, who is coming to our church to worship. Our knowledge of the effort to install or ask for a variance with regard to the paint booth, I think I learned about it last night, and the other members learned about a day or two before, but at no time did we receive any notice from the gentleman who owns the place. I will say to you that we went to him this morning upon our first learning of it to see if we could not work out some arrangement and tell him, you need to come back with something better than what we have seen thus far. And of course, he did not want to withdraw it, and we're here to oppose it. We would respectfully ask that you deny this proposed variance to the smart code zoning, and certainly not consider it until he is able to demonstrate to you that his proposal will meet OSHA requirements, ADM requirements, that it would be harmonious to the area in which it is located, and also that he meets the historical commission requirements before he is able to change the various aspects of that building as it exists. Those are our objections.
Okay. So, Mr. Gillis, based on what I hear you are presenting on behalf of your client is that if he can show compliance with all of these items, OSHA, ADM, city, fire department, historical commission, then y'all would consider his request at that time.
We'll examine it again. I'm not going to represent to you that our church.
I didn't ask.
I didn't get that authority from
Right.
the pastor when I came.
Right. I said, y'all would consider that.
We'll sit down and
that's
talk.
the way. Right. Right. That's what I'm asking.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions, board members, of Mr. Gillis?
I have one question. Mr. Gillis, do your members use this place to park on Sundays?
Yes and no, we do. On Sundays, in the past, we have parked in the cemented area.
Okay.
And we have also allowed him, not this particular owner, we did not know that the property had been sold, but the previous owner, we allowed him to, we own the property immediately behind that facility. And we've always talked to him about moving that property. We've always gone to who we thought were the owners and tried to work out any differences. But on this occasion, we were not aware that the property had been sold. But yes, we have parked in that particular area. If we can't park, it doesn't matter. We don't mind, it matters. We don't mind because there's sufficient parking diagonally across the street where the state employees park in that farmer's market area over there.
Yeah, okay. All right, one of the pictures that we have shows a whole bunch of cars there, and it looks to me like it would look if people parked there on a Sunday. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Those are his cars, I think,
Oh, okay.
not our cars.
Well, there's a lot of parking in the street there then, if that's the case. Yeah.
And then,
Okay.
Mr. E.J. Knight.
Hi, my name is E.J. Knight, and I did meet with the owner this morning because we are neighbors, and he's been there for 7 years, and we wanted to see what we can do. We didn't find out until the last minute because of the pandemic. We've not been in the church a lot. So I did go talk to him. The picture you see there probably is from a Sunday because their car's on the street. So that's probably where we do park on Sundays. It's not necessary for us to park there, but we have been parking there. And we've been letting, and I think the vehicles belong to the gentleman here that are in the back, because I did inquire about those this morning. I said, if we've got this many vehicles, and it's about 10 or 12 in the back right now, with no tag, the grass has grown up around them, it's beginning to look like a junkyard. And if that's the case with just mechanical issues, if we start doing a paint and body shop, where you have to wait longer for the parts, where you have bumpers that, you would have to put in a place that you take off of vehicles. Our concern is that our property, which is behind that, would begin to look more like a junkyard than a church parking lot. So yes, that's probably from Sunday, but yes, we have other places where we could park on Sunday with no problem.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anyone else care to address this item?
I want to add to, that's my baby brother, so I want to add to what he had to say. We object to it. First of all, he already has a mechanic shop there. We have worked with him the best that we possibly could as it relates to that by allowing him to use our space to park some of his cars. The vehicles that you see there, they are abandoned. He doesn't keep the property up at all. And he already has that. If he's going to also have a paint shop and he's going to sell automobiles, then where is he going to do all of this? He doesn't own anything but just a small portion of the lot there where the facility is located. So this is a historic church that's been there for many years. We're trying to do everything that we can in this city to try to make certain that we have presentable places, historic places for people to come. And we've got to start making certain that we don't continue to have cars parked, jacked up, not repaired, things of that nature. We're trying to protect that particular corner because we've been there for many, many years. It's historic. Dr. King preached his last sermon at the end of the bus boycott at St. John's AME Church when he called off the Montgomery bus boycott. So it's a historic facility. People come from all over the world to see facilities such as that. We don't need a paint shop with automobiles sitting all around the church. So we would hope that you would deny this. The other thing is, we have not seen a notification. I thought that adjacent property owners should be notified when there's going to be any adjustment to anything as it relates to the property. There's been no notification that I'm aware of to notify us. We found out at the last minute. We tried to talk to the gentleman, but he just refused to agree on anything. So we would like to ask you to please deny.
Thank you, John. Okay. Mr. Cangarelli, would you like to come up and speak to these concerns? Yes, sir. The mic is yours. The floor is yours. And I would suggest that you address their concerns, and if you have any suggestions or changes in what you'd like to do, we'll hear them, and then we'll decide what we should do.
Sure. First of all, let me start with parking issue. If you don't, I really don't mind church parking my lot. They use the weekdays, weekends, Saturday, Sunday. For us, it's never a problem because people over there serving the God, so we respect them and we don't have no problem at all. And the picture you see over there, probably 20, 30 cars, they belong to the church. They block my business, as you see, and everything. I don't mind all that, because they praying and they have funerals and stuff. I don't have problem at all. And this issue in the back, they were saying I only have 2 cars in the back, the park, that's belong to me. So I can move it anytime. And my business is, I don't know if anybody's seen around here, but it's perfect clean, I didn't even have oil drip on my floor, so I never get any ticket, anything like that. I mean, everything is perfect, my business. So today, the reason I came here, and I would like to comply all the regulations, rules, whatever necessary, if I can do it. And as I said, the people parking over there, I never mind it. I will never mind it because it's, they need it. They go on the praying and stuff. I'm closed Saturday, Sunday anyway. I don't mind. Even the weekends, if they need it, of course, they have a funeral. If they have to use, they use it. I don't have no problem at all. And my purpose is just about on the business. So I just want to, expand the business and make, sell cars. And I always keep my business clean. So, I mean, that's all I can say right now. I mean, if you have any questions, I can answer.
Any questions of the petitioner? Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay, we've heard the petitioner and those opposed to this particular item. I will entertain a motion. And please speak loudly, whoever's going to make it.
Based on the information that I heard, ready for a motion?
Yes, sir.
I said what the motion is denied based on the information that I've heard and from the presenters. That's my recommendation, to deny the request.
Is that a good enough reason, Tanya, or he's making his motion to deny based upon the statements made by the opposition?
That's fine. I can go back and add what they were.
You okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, we have a motion to deny based upon the comments that have been presented from the opposition. Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Second for Mr. Johnson. Okay. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Okay, the motion carries to deny the request. Okay, any questions? Item number 2 is presented by Justin Pettaway. Is Mr. Pettaway here yet? Item number 3 is presented by Brandon Stone, requesting a rear yard variance, a side yard variance, and street side yard variance for a new dwelling to be located at 1625 Croom Drive in an R100 single-family residential district. Mr. Stone?
Good evening.
Hello.
My presentation is not quite as exciting as the last one, but we are looking to build a new home, start construction here in the coming months in the Hillwood neighborhood, and we are asking to move the zoning setback lines to be consistent with those on the plat, basically. We're looking at a 10-foot change on Lancaster there. We want to go from 30 feet to 10 feet on the rear of the lot, which happens to be owned by my parents. But, and we want to move the 12-foot variance on the side from 12 to 10, and that's what we're asking.
Okay, got it. Any question, board members?
Question.
Yes, sir.
Is there a house on this lot now, or has there ever been?
There was, and it burned about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And it's just a vacant lot. Now it's got a driveway in it, but it's vacant.
Okay. In my mind, I remembered it being vacant, but didn't know why. Thank you.
Any other questions? Is anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Mr. Stone's request.
Have a motion to approve. Have a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Howell. Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item number 4 is presented by David Nelson Brown, requesting a side yard variance, separation between structure variance and a coverage variance for a new accessory structure to be located at 224 Small Brook Drive in an R75S single-family zoning district. Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir. I just was asking for a variance if I could put a shed up for I want to park a bass boat under it, really, is all it's going to be.
Okay, give us a second, take a look at that. You are, the side, yeah, well, here's what we're looking at. The side yard, you come within 2 feet, 10 inches of the side property line, okay? Which means you're here for a 2-foot, 2-inch setback on the side. Is that something keeping you from not being 5 feet off of that property line where you could move it so you're not? And here's why. That water from that structure is likely to flow onto your adjacent property owner, okay? Can you move that? Can you move your building over so that it's 5 feet off that side property line?
Well, the reason it's sitting right there is when I back my boat, straight down the driveway into there. See where the driveway is right there on the right-hand side of the house?
Yep.
So I just lined it up.
Line it up with your driveway.
Yes, sir.
I got you. Okay, well, that answers that question. So, regardless, you cannot allow water from that structure to spill onto your adjacent property owner. So you've only got 2 feet, 2 feet, 10 inches there to deal with. So that can become an issue. Is that going to be a pitched roof? Is all the water going to go off that side?
No, sir. It's a vertical roof. It's one of them. I call it like a little carport that you see for sale on this for sale. But it's a metal, but it's a vertical roof. I mean, it's
I'm
like
not sure I
made
know
out
what
of
you mean
metal.
about a vertical roof, but,
Does it look like this?
Yes.
Okay.
It's pitched.
that's a pitched roof.
Oh, okay, okay.
And that's what I'm saying is, if it's pitched, half of that water on that roof is gonna go that other direction. It's go to your property. Would you agree to put gutters down that side of the building
Yes, sir.
and divert your water out the back?
Yes, sir.
You would?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other
Yeah,
questions,
my
board
neighbor,
members?
I've been there about 25 years, so.
Well, we're just trying to
You know, I'm
keep,
saying I don't want.
this is for your benefit in the long run, I promise you.
Question. What is behind this lot?
That's what I was going to ask.
It's Peter Crump School.
Peter.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Is there a ditch back there too, between you and the school
Yeah.
property? That's
Yes,
what I
sir.
thought.
Yeah.
All right.
You could put gutters down that side and dump that water out the back,
Yes, sir.
and it'd go down into that ditch.
Yes, sir.
You okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
That's me.
Motion to approve, Mr. Howell.
Second.
Second from Mr. Reese. Any further discussion? And that motion is with gutters down that side?
Yes, with gutters down the side, as
Down
we
that side.
discussed. Yeah.
The water going out the back.
Water going to the
You'll have a
ditch, yes.
downspout going down.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Unanimous? Thank you.
Thank you.
We didn't ask you to do anything we wouldn't have asked anybody else to do. That's par for the course for us. Item 5 is presented by Sarah Ross. Ms. Ross here? Is that the same Sarah Ross or Ross Clayton funeral? Yeah, ain't seen Sarah in a long time. So no show, we'll just show it as a no-show today, Tanya. Is item number 2 here yet?
Yeah, I think he walked in.
I think that's announced.
Mr. Pettaway?
Mr. Pettaway? Mr. Justin Pettaway, we'll hear you now if you'd like. You can come forward. Mr. Pettaway, Justin Pettaway, requesting a coverage variance for an accessory structure to be located at 2011 Grande Avenue in an R65 zoning district. Okay, Mr. Pettaway, you want to construct a 29 by 49 accessory structure. So you've exceeded the coverage variance by 836 square feet. A 4-car garage, that's a big unit. That's a big garage. Is that correct? Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
So you need a 4-car garage there, right?
Yes, sir.
What else, is that the only purpose for the accessory structure is a garage?
Yes, sir.
No hobbies, no workshop,
No, sir.
no plumbing,
No, sir.
electrical maybe?
Electrical, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm asking these questions because these are typical questions. You can't live in it, of course. Any questions, board members?
Yes, well, you say this is a 4-car garage, so it's going to have sides and doors and all that stuff?
Yes.
Not just a shed?
No, it's a four-door garage.
Sitting on a concrete slab?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sounds good.
All enclosed? All enclosed? I'm asking you a question.
Sir?
It's all enclosed?
Yes.
4-sided enclosed?
Yes.
With garage doors?
Front, back, and side.
Excuse me?
Front, back, and side.
Okay. 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 Any other questions? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion that we approve.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, motion is to approve as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Reese. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Okay? You got it.
All right, thank you.
Good luck. Item number number 5, excuse me, no show. Item number 6 is, let me get to it. Presented by A.R. Sabri, representing the House of Worship, requesting a special exception and master plan approval for a new church to be located on the southeast corner of Dorchester Drive and Wilkesboro Drive in an O1 zoning district. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you Mr. Sabri?
Yes, sir. We had purchased that.
Sir, I believe you're gonna have to take that mask off there.
We had purchased that. It was a 5-acre lot. We came down with Mr. Jeffcoat, and they did the survey and everything. We got it all sell in on it. It's a 3-acre lot, and this is the proposal that we are proposing for a house of worship.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so the building's gonna be approximately 3,200 square feet?
Yes, sir.
Is all of the paving and the parking gravel? Is it gravel or paved?
Well, it was going to be paved, maybe some gravel, mostly paved, asphalt.
Asphalt or gravel?
Asphalt, probably asphalt.
Okay,
So,
it's going to be all asphalt.
Yes, sir.
That's the driveway and the parking lot.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so you'll have 18 paved marked parking spaces, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. You got a lot of land there. What you going to do with the rest of it?
Well, just beautify it, maybe put a little plant garden. You talking about on that 3-acre lot?
Yes, sir.
Maybe a little garden or something like that, or a little,
Okay.
something simple.
Okay. Just want to make sure you're not planning to have a football field or something
No,
out
sir.
there like
No, sir.
that.
No, sir.
Okay. Will it be, I hope that you'll well light it on the outside?
Yes, sir.
It'll be well lit.
Yes, sir.
It will? Okay. All right, so it's no gravel parking here?
Yes, sir.
No okay. All right. Any questions? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion based upon my comments.
Motion that we approve as presented.
Has a motion to approve from Mr. Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Howell. Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you, sir. Good job.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir. Good luck on all that.
Yes, sir. Be safe, y'all.
You too. Item 7 is presented by Malcolm Calhoun, requesting a special exception to operate an assisted living facility at 4155 Lomax Street in a B2 district. Yes, sir. How you doing?
Doing well. Good afternoon. Currently, this facility or this building is owned by my family. As many of you, many people in the city know, my father, Greg Calhoun, used this location as his corporate headquarters when he operated his business enterprise for over 30 years in Montgomery. For the past 2 years, the building has been sitting vacant, and we're in the process of trying to maximize the use and convert it over to an alternate possibilities for business operation.
Okay. All right, let's talk about access to that building.
Okay.
I know you can access it from Lomax Street.
Correct.
The only other access is coming back through those adjoining parking lots, correct?
That is correct.
Do you have access easements in order to allow that access, or do any of those property owners, could any one of those property owners block you from accessing through those parking lots?
They cannot. The access off of Carmichael Road actually goes into, if you could
There's,
I don't
there's
know,
an
you can't
office,
see
there's
it.
an office. I'm very familiar with that area.
Okay.
My office is 2 blocks from there.
Okay,
I've
well,
sold many of those buildings around there.
I personally have always entered that off of Carmichael for 30 years because that entry point there feeds into other businesses in that area, so it's not operated or owned by any one particular person or company.
I understand. The parking lots all interconnect. There's about 3 buildings there. My question is, do you know that you got access easements that allow traffic to go through the other adjacent property owners to get in and out of your property? Because one of the property owners has already, I don't see him here tonight, but he expressed concern to me. Okay, there you go. All right. About the volume of traffic that an assisted living might create back through his parking lot.
Well, if that is a concern of that property owner, then all the traffic can be directed off of Lomax, which is directly into that
Well,
parking lot.
I'm just asking the question. I did not know that he might be here, so we'll let him get up and talk about it.
Okay.
But I would be concerned about that too, okay?
Well, I mean, as you can see off of Lomax, there's a ingress and egress that is directly for that parking lot of that building.
Right, I'm familiar with that. But, by the way, crazy about your dad, and I'm sorry about his death 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, Greg is being missed, I can tell you. He was a friend.
Thank you.
But I know that building has enjoyed that access back through those parking lots. And other property owners may have a concern with an assisted living use because the traffic volume might substantially increase compared to what it's always been or what it was intended for. That's my point. Okay? Have you gotten the approval for the assisted living yet, or you still got to go through that process?
We're just starting that process, but we wanted to make sure that we actually had the authorization as relates to the building use first.
Okay. And it would be, what, 40 to 50 beds or 40 to 50 rooms? I want to make sure.
Beds.
40 to 50 beds.
Correct.
Okay. If we were to approve this, all parking would have to occur on site with no parking on Lomax.
That is
okay.
Understood.
Okay. We also would require a lot more lighting for the parking lot.
We are aware that there are going to have to be some adjustments to the building. There is lighting lighting fixtures that are on the building that shine on the parking lot, but we are open to drastically improving that as well.
I was out there looking at it about 6:30 last night, and it's kind of dim down in there.
Okay.
It needs a lot of improvement as far as lighting, particularly for this use, because you got people coming and going, not 8 to 5, but you know.
We are we have had that conversation internally, and are not opposed to upgrading the lighting for the building to meet whatever the requirements necessary.
Okay. Any other questions, board members, before I call to see if anyone else wants to address this item? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Gerard Johnson. I represent 4171 Lomax Street. I just recently purchased the building maybe about a month ago. And if you look at the picture right here, where Mr. Calhoun, his property is in red. If you look to the right at the very top, that is my parking lot area. That's part of my property. A little of the picture is cut off where it shows the access road where people come in into the parking, either to his side or come through my parking lot. That's one of the issues that I'm having right now. Some of his people, I haven't had a chance to meet him or talk to the owner, but I am having issues where people are coming off of Carmichael and they are driving, and I got tenants that's onboarding, that's coming on, that's coming into my, my business that I'm signing up, and I see a potential hazard, a potential risk here in the next few, as more people come through, more traffic, and more people that, new tenants that I sign up. So I'm concerned. I think it's a great idea that he's doing it, but I'm not sure if this location is the right location for that type of senior citizen home, whatever you're doing. But my concerns are that I'm just seeing too much traffic, and I would like to deny that request.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, what type of business do you operate?
I'm an IT consultant, but I own commercial buildings, and I'm the property manager for this building. So I have a lot of different small businesses that rent from me for their business, and so right now, not at this point, but in that parking lot soon, that's going to be filled. So what's going to happen is I got cars that's coming in the back from Carmichael Road, and people that's my people that's parking, they're going to be coming out, so it's going to be a hazard. If we don't, I mean, it's a real tight space, and the flow traffic that's coming through there now, is a problem. And I just see some accidents and some issues.
Is your building not pictured? Is it on top
north
of the car?
It's not in the picture. My building is next door to this building right here that is not outlined. It's right next door. It's 4171, correct, to the right of it.
Question. You said people are coming off Carmichael Road through your parking lot?
Yes.
How do they get there?
I know.
Okay, so they come off Carmichael Road.
There's a building right behind here, and there's all these driveways interconnect. There's 3 office buildings that are all connected. Mr. Johnson's one of them.
Okay, Johnson's one of them,
and they're coming off of. They can come off of Carmichael.
And they come off Carmichael and come in behind this building shown on the right here.
Yeah, to get to Lomac is a shortcut. Is really convenient versus you going all the way down on Carmichael, turning on Trinity Boulevard, and then coming up on Carmichael. A lot of people just go through Carmichael, hit the access road, either come through my driveway or they go through Mr. Calhoun's driveway.
Okay, to get to Lomac from Carmichael.
Correct.
So you've got a street that's not a street.
Basically.
Whether you want it or not.
Yeah.
All right. I got you.
Mr. Johnson, let me ask you this question. If Mr. Calhoun were to agree to allow you to put up a barricade that prevented his traffic from going through your parking lot, would you agree to that, or are you just opposed to the use regardless?
I would be in agreement to that, as long as none of his people, the clients or customers are occupying my space where it's slowing down my business, or my tenants cannot access those areas. I got active leases where in the lease agreement, I tell them that, hey, that particular area is where all my tenants park, and then in the front, it is overflow, basically overflow.
Yeah.
Parking space.
Well, okay, if he were to do that, that means that all his traffic is coming one way up Lomac into a dead-end street.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So answer, please, the other part of my question was, are you still opposed to the use, regardless?
Me personally, I would be okay if that could be resolved where that could be blocked. I will not be opposed to him, but I'm just I'm a minority. So there's other business owners that is right in that area that will be affected. More so on Lomac, all that traffic that's coming in and out of there. But for me personally, I would be okay if that would be a resolve.
Right. Okay. Anything else? Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Mr. Calhoun, you want to step back up? You want to address his concern?
Well, as Mr. Johnson stated, that ingress and egress to which he speaks is not an issue of a hazard from accident perspective, but we would not be opposed to closing off that entrance point on the backside of our parking lot to ensure that all of our customers would come in off of Lomac directly into the parking lot.
Okay. You would agree to allow him to block it?
Yes. If he wants to, I'm okay with him blocking that off. Again, and we would require all our customers to enter on the Lomac side and not cut through that Carmichael cut through.
You know what would be great, and I've always thought, I'm not sure why it hasn't ever happened, Lomac Street needs to be connected on through to that other street so that you got more ways to get in and out there. But it dead ends there now, and I don't know why it ever stopped. I think it may be that nobody ever pushed the issue. That could help solve your problem. You know? You know what I'm talking about?
I understand, right here on this left side.
That needs to be connected.
Yeah, right there on the left side, right, the street that cuts the backside of our office building from those apartments and other buildings.
I don't know why that was never connected there. I guess at the time it just wasn't an issue, but that would sure be, I would like to, if we voted to approve this, I'd like to ask you to pursue that with the city to get it connected.
And they should do it. That would be a selling point for you and Mr. Johnson if you had access from that other street, you know, that parallels Trinity.
I am not opposed to pursuing that. I think I have a good relationship with the city councilman in that area and some other appropriate people that could help me push that. That would be
the answer. You know, that road connects into that apartment complex. I don't know. But I don't believe that anybody has ever pushed the issue. Would you have an objection to that, Mr. Johnson, of that connectivity? I can't hear you.
You got 50 to 60 beds is what you mentioned? That's what we were projecting. Right. I don't think, and it's not for me to judge, but my concern is the facility is not big enough. The parking lot that he have right now, I see 2 to 3 cars from his business, they parking in my parking lot. So when you get ready to fill that up with staff as well as visitors, I don't even think it has the capacity. So that's going to be a threat to me that my parking space might be used if it don't be closed up. I talked to my attorney when I had closed on the property in reference to a access easement, and they still reviewing that. But from the last email that I checked, she said that the access easement was approved. It was basically between 3 different parties where the access easement was open. So I don't know how is that gonna work if I'm able to close it up or not with that easement already in place.
If it's in place, you may not can close it up.
Right. So if I can't close it up, that means that I definitely disapprove. I do not agree with this being approved for this hearing.
Let me make this suggestion. Mr. Calhoun, I'm going to suggest we delay this, okay? You got 6 votes up here. You've got to have 5 to approve or disapprove. I think I think we need to delay this. I think y'all need to determine, is that an access easement that you cannot close up? You may not be able to. Because if it's an access easement, it serves all three buildings, therefore it's mutual, it's reciprocating, and you may not be able to close it up. That may answer the question. Even if you wanted to, you may not be able to. So, board members, I'd like to hear a motion to delay and let them resolve that. In the meantime, y'all get together and decide how you're gonna make all this work. Do I have a motion?
Motion to delay as
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor of delay?
Mr. Chairman,
It's unanimous. Yes, sir.
I would appreciate it if they would also touch base with the fire department, because the fire department has enjoyed that access for all these years and are aware of it, and they would need to sign off on it being closed.
Yep, exactly.
So they can get with me or Tanya or whatever, we can put them to the right person.
Yeah. And you know, after I think about it, I'm not so sure it's a good idea to connect with that street going in off of Carmichael, because it's connecting with those apartments, and you connect that with Lomac and those apartments, then you can have people from the apartments cutting through Lomac. And you may not want that, okay? So I don't think that's a good idea. Everybody agree with that?
That's for them to work out.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a good idea to do that. I think you'd have a lot of apartment traffic cutting through Lomac in and out of the apartments, and that becomes a problem. So I think you got to look at connect access to your building, Mr. Calhoun, strictly from Lomac.
Well, again, there is access to that building strictly from Lomac.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. But the access easement, Mr. Johnson may not be able to block it anyway. If it's a reciprocal easement, he can't block it.
So I'm a little confused here. If we're speaking of an access easement that cannot be blocked,
right?
Even if he and I are both willing to come to a meaningful decision,
right?
How do we get past this impasse as relates to this allowing us to utilize
then
this
Mr.
building?
Johnson could say, hey, I oppose the petition because I don't want all this traffic coming through my parking lot for an assisted living use.
But it wouldn't go through his parking lot. That's where I'm confused. If I'm on Lomac,
If it's not blocked, it could. If it's not blocked, well, you don't know where the access easement is, okay? So y'all need to do some research, and once you've determined that access easement issue, come back. Otherwise, you could eliminate the access easement by getting all the property owners that enjoy that benefit to sign off on it. You could do that. But because you don't know if it's a reciprocating access easement, he may not be able to block it. Then he's got assisted living traffic going through his parking lot. Okay?
Okay.
All in favor of delaying? Did we vote on that? Okay. Y'all do need to get together. And really, for your benefit, Mr. Calhoun, you need to know about that issue, because it could adversely affect your business.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Next item, number 8, is presented by William Tucker, requesting a special exception for a place of amusement and assembly and a variance to ordinance number 17-2014 for tenant space located at 3036 Woodley Road in a B4 zoning district. Mr. Tucker?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
What I'm trying to do is actually trying to open a pool hall there. I also have a business there, the Alder on Woodley Road, got the best steak shrimp in that area. The problem is they told us we had to be 250 feet from residence, which is down right here. We see all the cars. That's actually where the parking lot for Second Chance Auto. But I don't think it's going to be an issue because it's going to be a pool hall. Noise or anything like that, hours of operation aren't going to interfere with the businesses there because they close at, all of them there close at 5 except for my business, which closes at 9. So I'm looking at 5 till 12 o'clock, so it shouldn't affect any of the business in that area.
5 to 12 o'clock at night?
Yes.
Okay. You got good lighting in the parking lot there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All your activities will be confined within the building, right?
Yes, sir.
There's no activity going on outside the building?
No, sir. Just
There's
strictly
no,
pool.
are you going to be serving alcoholic beverages?
Yes, sir.
Subject to the ABC approval?
Yes.
Okay. No outside alcohol sales, nothing, no outside alcohol
No.
going on? Everything confined within the building?
Yes.
All the music within the building?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions, board members?
Yes. Has there ever been a place in that strip facing Woodley Road that served liquor?
No, sir. This, not that I know of. I've been in there about 8 months with my restaurant, but I think there's another restaurant. There's restaurants there. The rest of them are just insurance agency and Metro PCS. So no.
Okay.
alcohol in there.
So, and then there's a package store across the road, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
I move we grant the variance as discussed.
Have a motion to approve. We have a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Johnson. Sir, I know you don't own this space. I know you don't own the shopping center, but we're making a special request for you to have the owner put a lot of lighting in that end of the parking lot.
Yes, sir.
Because you got people going and coming up until 12 o'clock at night.
Well, it's actually funny because the cars that are there, they actually have security there every day, every night, because those cars are for the car lot. So actually there's lighting there, and they actually patrol that area every day because of the because of that parking, because they park the
Well,
cars there.
purely because you got people coming and going as late as 12 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And I want our motion to provide adequate lighting in the parking lot.
Okay, we can
Until
include
you
that.
close,
Include that in my motion.
okay?
Yes, sir.
Because I know shopping center owners who will automatically cut their parking lot lights off at a predetermined time,
Yes, sir.
10 o'clock, for example, okay?
Okay.
So what are you gonna do after 10 o'clock? You got no parking lot lights.
Yes, sir. I have no problem with talking to the.
Well, we're gonna make it a requirement.
Okay.
You gotta have that end of the parking lot lit until 12 o'clock at night.
Yes, sir.
You okay with that, Mr. Howell?
Yes, sir.
Who seconded that motion? Mr. Johnson, you okay with it? Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. You got it.
Thank
That's
you.
important, okay?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Item 9, is number 9 here? Mr. Doss? Okay, last but not least, Mr. Andrew Hall. Come on up, Andrew. Requesting a side yard variance and a rear yard variance for an addition to the dwelling located at 2078 Myrtlewood Drive in an R125 zoning district.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Say
Go
again.
ahead.
No, we are looking to add a master suite. The house does not contain one. When we bought it, we moved in about a year ago, which was during quarantine, and so the way the house is positioned on the lot, this was the best way that we could determine how to do so. Because currently we don't have one, nor do we have a bathroom. So it's been kind of camping out living for us, my wife and I, and I'd very much like to stay married and get a bathroom.
Gotcha. Any questions, board members?
That's one way to put it. I have one question.
Yes, sir.
What's behind you? The Montgomery Country Club?
Yes, sir.
The
That's
golf
the-
course?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nobody's back there. That's good.
Any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, Mr. Howell. Any
Well,
further
Mr. Williams
discussion?
also.
Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. You got it, Andrew.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Tell Lester I said hello.
I will.
All right, let's see, two things. First of all, do we have an approval of the minutes from the last meeting?
Yeah, one thing about those minutes, I showed it to Tanya. It shows on item 2 on those minutes that you voted twice, and I told her to change one of those to me.
You got it?
Okay.
Okay,
Motion to approve as corrected.
great. All right, we need to nominate and approve vice chairman and chairman for 2021, and I'll now open the floor for nominees for chairman.
I'd like to nominate Mr. John Stanley for the chairman position.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I accept that. Do we have any other nominations?
Nominate Ms. K.T. Brown as...
No, we got to vote on that one first.
Okay.
All in favor of me as chairman for next year, please raise your hand. I'll have to abstain, I guess. I vote for myself.
Put down
Thank
he got
you.
a bare majority.
Thank you. The floor is open for nomination of vice chairman.
K.T. Brown?
Who?
Nathan.
Ms. Brown, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further, all right, any further nominations? All in favor of Ms. Brown, please raise your hand. We got it. Have a motion to adjourn?
No, Mr. Stanley, you got a executive
Oh,
secretary.
excuse me. Got to have a nomination to reappoint Mr. Tommy Tyson as executive secretary of the board for 2021. Please,
So moved.
so moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second for Mr. Johnson. All in favor, raise your hand. Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you.
Thank all y'all for serving. Look forward to another year. We adjourn.